If you're visiting New York, getting around can seem overwhelming. Which train do you take? Where do you catch it? Which direction are you going? And what's the best way to get directions when you're in the city? Well, here's the answer. Google Maps is hands down the best choice for navigating New York's public transit system. New Yorkers use it, and travel experts recommend it. And while you may have used Google Maps for driving directions where you live, you may not have used it to navigate a public transit system as large as New York's. So in this video, I'll show you how to master Google Maps for the New York subway and share 5 tips that will make you feel like you just picked up a secret subway superpower. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned and we'll get right into it. What makes Google Maps so good for New York? Well, it's a free app that provides all the information you need for a walking city in one place. Remember, New York is not a driving city. Personally, when I'm taking a road trip, I prefer Waze. I just noticed that Waze is better at predicting highway traffic over long distances. But when it comes to in-city local navigation, Google Maps is by far the best. It combines walking directions with public transit directions and allows you to compare that commute time with driving time in case you're thinking about taking a taxi. And it does it all in one view. Plus, all the directions are given in real time based on where you are in the city. So there's no need to write down directions before you arrive. As long as you have Google Maps on your phone, you're good to go. Google Maps is available for both Android and iPhones, and I've included a link to both app stores in the description below. Once you have it installed, go into settings and make sure that location is set to while using app. This is an important step because the whole advantage of using Google Maps is that it gives you directions based on where you are in the city. And if it doesn't know where you are, then the directions won't be accurate. Now that you have it installed, I'll take you through some examples and show you how to use it. Let's go over getting directions with Google Maps. First, enter your destination and then your starting point. For example, let's say that you want to go to Chelsea Market. You'll put Chelsea Market in first and then where you're coming from. I'll use Times Square. The most common option that you'll use in New York will be walking or public transportation mode. This is the public transportation icon, and this is the walking icon. When you're looking at public transportation, Google Maps will show you all the various routes you can use. For most places that visitors are going in Manhattan, there's usually multiple subway lines, and Google will list all of them. So how do you figure out which route is best? Well, start by looking at the time. Always choose the shortest time for obvious reasons, right? You have things that you want to do and limited time in the city. Then prioritize subways over buses. Buses have rectangles and subways have circles. Sometimes it will look like a bus route is shorter, but once that bus gets stuck in traffic, that time savings will disappear. When evaluating subway options, remember the most direct route is the easiest route. For first-time visitors, I'd also recommend avoiding transfers on your first day in the city. And by a transfer, I mean getting off one train and getting on another before you get to your destination. So how do you know what a transfer looks like on the map? Well, anytime that you see an arrow connecting 2 different subway lines, that's a transfer. For example, this one is a transfer, but this and this one, that's not a transfer. When you're reading directions, translate a transfer into an and, otherwise use an or. If I was giving you directions for this 20-minute route, I would say you can take the N or the R or the W and transfer to the L and walk 6 minutes. Because the N, the R, and the W are optional. You can take any one of those. The first one that shows up you can take, but then you have to transfer to the L. Transfers are free and they're not hard, but it's an extra thing to think about. Why give yourself something else to think about when you don't need to? Look, if you're really exploring the city, you will transfer trains at some point, and that's a good thing. All I'm saying is, if you can avoid doing it on your first day, do it. Just get familiar with how to pay and navigate the basics of the subway system before you start switching trains. But if you want to see how a transfer looks in Google Maps, don't worry, I have an example coming up for you in this video. Now let's go through step-by-step detailed directions. And I'm going to use a different example for this so that you can kind of get the hang of this. This time, let's say that you want to go to the Staten Island Ferry and you're starting in Times Square. I am using Times Square because that's where most visitors stay when they're in New York. There's a lot of options to get to the Staten Island Ferry from Times Square. The first route looks really good. It's only 22 minutes. The second route is also good. It's 22 minutes, but with the second option, it's telling you that if you take the 2 or the 3, you'll have to transfer to the 1. But with the first option, it just says you can jump on the 1 and you can be there in the same amount of time. Remember, simple is better. So when you see something like this, just choose the first one. Now, let's read the details. So you'll click on the first route to see the step-by-step directions. Here's how you read this. You're starting in Times Square, and you're going to take the 1 train at the Times Square 42nd Street station. It's a 3-minute walk from where you currently are. The closest subway entrance is at 7th Avenue and 42nd Street. And when you get into the subway, you're going to follow the signs towards downtown, local 1 and 2. That's very important. That is the direction that the train is going. If you take the 1 train in an opposite direction, you're going the wrong way. You're going to get on the train and you're going to take it 13 stops, approximately 18 minutes. Then you get off the train at South Ferry. Now, Google says that you should exit at Whitehall and Water Street. But in reality, when you're getting off the subway, you're just going to take the first exit you see. As soon as you're above ground, Google will give you walking directions to your destination. All right, let's look at another example. And this time, we'll choose the option with the transfer. So this route is longer, it's 29 minutes. And you're getting on the subway at a different station. Now, Google's telling you to get on at 49th Street, and the closest entrance is at 47th and 7th. At this station, you're looking for signs that say downtown Brooklyn. You're getting on the N train that's going towards Coney Island. You're not going to Coney Island, the train is going to Coney Island. So you're going to get on the N train, and you're going to take that train to 14th Street, Union Square. When you get off at 14th Street, you'll follow the signs for Downtown and Brooklyn Express, and then get on the 4 train. The 4 train is an express train, and it's heading towards Crown Heights, Utica Avenue. You're going to take that train 4 stops, get off on Bowling Green, and then it's a 6-minute walk to the Staten Island Ferry. So that's how you read a transfer. It's not difficult, but if you can avoid it on your first day, do it. Simple is always better. Now, here's a few tips that'll earn you that subway superhero cape that I mentioned in the beginning. First, download Google Maps offline. This is most important for international visitors who may not have cell service when you first get to the city. When you're using the map offline, you can't get directions, but you can get the address to different places, and that'll still help you out. It's kind of like having a paper map. Not as good as being connected to Wi-Fi, but it's better than nothing. To download a map offline, click on your avatar in the top right corner, choose Offline Maps, then select the area that you want to download, and then click Download. I'd recommend doing this at home before you depart and while you're still connected to the strongest Wi-Fi. Tip number 2, if you're traveling in a wheelchair or with a stroller, turn on accessibility options. When you have this turned on, Google will prioritize stations that have elevators. Now, just because a station has an elevator doesn't mean it's clean, doesn't mean it's working. So if you're looking for reliable elevators, go to the bigger stations. And the bigger stations are the ones that have multiple train lines running through them. Tip number 3, count your stops. If you're visiting New York, the names of these stations won't mean anything to you. So the easiest way to make sure that you don't miss your stop is just to count the number of stops. If you're going 13 stops, you'll know if you get to around stop 10 that you need to start paying attention. It's an easy way to make sure that you don't go too far on the subway. Tip number 4, never refer to trains by colors, always numbers and letters. Look, just because you see multiple trains stopping at the same station doesn't mean they're all the same. Some are local, some are express, and some are splitting off once they go further uptown or downtown, and you don't want to get on the wrong train. If you refer to a train by the color, you're rolling the dice, and it's a very high chance that you will get on the wrong train. Last tip, tip number 5, make sure to pay attention to the direction of the train when you get onto the subway platform. The last thing you want to do is take a train uptown 10 stops when you're supposed to be going downtown 10 stops. That will mess up your day and give you a major headache. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.